Hello everybody, welcome to week 3, almost at our halfway point already. Last week we talked about villains, so it makes sense that this week we're going to focus on heroes. I have said before that the real fairy tales are really not very much like their Disney counterparts, so as a result of that, some of the ways that heroes are shown in the stories might seem like it's incorrect to you. We will get into that more this week, but for now let's talk about heroes in general. Some of you might have heard of the hero's journey or the hero's cycle. It's an important concept in a lot of literature, and it's especially relevant to our class this week. In a nutshell, the hero's journey consists of a departure, an initiation, and a return. So the departure has some kind of call to action in it, and a lot of the times the hero refuses to heed it at first. Then once the hero does take up that call, often with some kind of supernatural help, they go on to initiation. That is where they face various trials. Sometimes they meet deities or other supernatural beings, and they make atonement in some way. Sometimes they also go through apotheosis, which is when a person reaches their perfect form and highest understanding. Sometimes they become deified in that stage as well. So the initiation stage is when also they complete any task that is supposed to be completed, and it actually is completed at that point. The final step is the return, which is basically exactly what it sounds like. The hero returns in some way to the start, but sometimes they don't want to leave wherever it is they were during the initiation stage. Sometimes they have to flee once they complete their tasks, and sometimes they actually need to be rescued. So if the hero has some kind of guide throughout their journey, usually that guide helps with this part. And the return also focuses on how the hero will retain the knowledge that they got during their journey and how they'll share it with the rest of the world. A big part of that return phase is also when the hero loses the fear of death. This can have a lot of different consequences, and it can be portrayed in a lot of different ways, so we'll also get into that as well. So for this week, I want you to think about how the hero's journey is portrayed in the stories that we read. How are they similar to each other? How are they different? Is the hero's journey what you would expect it to be in each of these stories? What other works of literature can you think of that portray a hero's journey? And you can look at literature or movies, for example. Poetry sometimes has it as well. So I look forward to seeing what you all come up with in the class discussions. And as always, if you have any questions for me, please post them either in the public questions thread, or you can send me a private message or a text message. Thanks, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in class.